Hi, welcome to Incredible Michaelites. It's all about St. Michael's 1858. So we are on to the webinar 6th, and we have got some incredible panel today. We have got Justice Samarendra Pratap Singh, 1971 batch. We have got Mr. Arun Mishra, 1976 batch, and we have got Syed Saba Karim, 1985 batch. And obviously with me, it has been our Guru, Banerjee sir. Banerjee sir, wish you all the best on the Guru Purnima and welcome to the session.
Thank you.
Right, thank you, sir. As the session goes, we'll start with the school episodes, the school stories part of it, and then we'll move to the anecdotes and towards the professional and the personal achievements of each. So this has been interesting so far. We have till now seen 14 Michaelites, 14 achievers all across the globe on this particular platform, and 5 episodes. So on the 6th one, let's start. Amba sir, on to you on the school part. Then we'll come to the details of everyone coming forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Nishant. Thank you. And I wish all a very happy Guru Purnima, because students like you, Nishant, Sabah, you are all my gurus. All right, and I'm learning, and the teacher is always a learner. Okay, so yes, we celebrate Guru Purnima together. So welcome to this incredible Michaelites webinar, and we have the 3 wonderful, incredible Michaelites with us. All right, Justice Samarendra Pratap Singh, then Mr. Arun Mishra, and Mr. Syed Saba Karim. So now I just begin, and since we have to do the school memories first, so I begin with the 1971 batchmate, classmate of mine, Justice Samarendra Pratap Singh. So we call him Sammy, okay? So he'll be Sammy for us. Okay, Sammy, I have 2 questions basically for you. Welcome to this webinar. First one is, yes?
Is it an examination?
Yes, Sammy?
Is it an examination again in St. Michael?
Oh my God, no. It's going to be very, very informal and very friendly. Don't, absolutely.
Okay.
My God,
okay.
who can examine your lordship? That's what, friends call him, his classmates, all of us. Okay, Sammy. So, you had come over from St. Xavier's, and I know you had lots and lots of teacher mentors. All right, you had lots of students, lots of friends, lots of seniors. Okay, and you were always a very polite and a very sweet, Michaelite. Even when you were, when you were a student, small boy. Sammy, when you moved over to St. Michael's, of course, we didn't have so much of a problem because the Jesuit fathers were there. They went along. I mean, we went along with them. But I'm sure, and I still recall distinctly, that you had a wonderful rapport with Father Cleary in St. Xavier's, and then, of course, with Mr. K. Mishra, I think, who took special care of you, all right, and a couple of other teachers as well. So would you like to just, go down memory lane and talk about these teachers, because, since this is Guru Purnima, so can you just, enlighten us with this? And my second question would be, you are one of the very few Xaverian turned Michaelites, all right, who have maintained that wonderful, cordial, ongoing relationship with St. Xavier's as well. You are one of the very few, and you have gone out of the way to do that. Okay, for my links with Xavier's, unfortunately, I mean, it does not go so deep. Unfortunately, now it has to be through, people like you, Sammy. So over to you, Sammy, for these 2 reminiscences, 2 distinct memories. Over to you.
My pranam to all my teachers existing and those who are no more there. I joined St. Xavier's in the year 1962. So 3 to 4 of us, namely Afzal, Dr. Chandra Mohan, and Khalid Hussain, we were earlier in St. Joseph Convent. So we did not have much difficulty in getting admission in St. Xavier's because those coming from St. Joseph Convent, they had some advantage. Otherwise, if there would have been an examination, I would not I'm doubtful whether I would have competed in that or not. Then my goings in St. Xavier's, I had come from a rural background. So both my Hindi and English were poor. My Bhojpuri was better than my Hindi and English. So I can still till this day, I can talk in Bhojpuri very fluently. So I was very weak in study, and my initial grounding was weak. And could you believe it? Somewhere in class 6th or 7th, I had Mr. Francis, whom we, with respect, used to call him, starting with the word H, I will not pronounce it. So he was correcting one of my question answers. So I had written at one place is go. So he had circled it with a red pen. So I thought that there is no spelling mistake with respect to this word go, leg. So I inquired from one of my friends, one of my colleagues. He said, no, it's not gold, it's pad. So this is the correct Hindi, is pad. So till 6th or 7th, I was unaware of it. And thereafter, in class 7th, I somehow managed to scrape through into class 8. There was a fear because out of 80 boys or 90 boys, only 45 would be taken for the senior classes, that is class 8 onwards, because there was no section at that time. So I just managed to get through into class 8. Now my study, in fact, began from class 8. Father Clary was our class teacher, class mentor, and he was there with his David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. And he noticed that I need a lot of guidance. So he told me one day after the class that, son, meet me in the recess. I met him. He told me that, well, everything is fine, because he didn't used to discourage anyone. So I would suggest that every day you write 4 to 6 lines and show it to me, and you have my liberty to come to the to his room even in the evening and show it to him. So this way he encouraged a lot, and used to see my work, encourage me, and this by this way I was able to progress somewhat little more. And then by the time these things were happening, class 8 was over, and then we all came to learn, and that, well, now we have to move to St. Michael's. So I was pretty apprehensive that, well, I had the guidance of Father Clary, which would not be anyway more to me. So the feeling was there, but then there was feeling was there. So since almost all the boys of class 8 had were shifting to St. Michael's, I also shifted to St. Michael's in the year 1969.
Okay.
And then in 69, there I said that the English and Hindi both were poor, and so were the other subjects also. Then I came in contact with C.K. Mishra, and he encouraged. In fact, he gave a lot of time to me, and he told me that, well, every day you have to do writing. You do some writing. Only writing and reading make the things easier. So for some time I took tuition from him also, and that way I found that by continuous writing, the things were becoming a bit easier. So, as you said, that Father clearly, and then in class ninth, uh, Sir K. Mishra,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and similar was my position with maths. So in maths, uh, Mr. Anthony and Mr. Travadar, they helped me. They helped me quite a bit.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Sammy. Because like you've been very, very candid, very, very frank, very, very humbly frank. To admit the things that normally at times people don't do. All right. So it has been a wonderful journey. I mean, yours is the case, and I'm sure even with Saba's case. I mean, like when a person wants to go far, and then there are people who doubt whether that person can go that far, then that person goes so far that he does not hear what the people are saying from behind. And then, he does whatever he has to do. And then the people come running to him and say, okay, my God, you have come so far. So salute to you. All right, Sami, very well done. I mean, yes, we had some fantastic teachers who were mentors who went out of their way, to help us. Now, thank you. We'll now move on to Arun. Yes, Arun, I think you are, yes. Welcome to the webinar. You are 5 years junior to me in St. Michael's. You were in Xavier's. Like Sammy and I, you also moved to Xavier's, even moved to St. Michael's, even after, just after being there for 1 year. All right, Arun, how did you feel, all right, when you were moving from Xavier's to St. Michael's? And also, memories of, yes, some of the seniors who were already there, firmly ensconced, all right, and happily welcome, ready to welcome you. So how did you feel this transition, at that time from Xavier's to Michael's, and along with, some of the memories with your teachers and some students, classmates, and seniors? Please, Arun,
So,
it's all
like
yours now.
Justice Singh, I would first like to convey my gratitude and my sincere pranam to all my teachers who made me what I am today, and incredible people. And this is the right day today, Guru Purnima day, where we're having this webinar. So thanks, Nishant, for organizing this, and also Mr. Banerjee for hosting this. So I was not in Xavier's for a long time. I was just there for 1 year. And so I really don't have much memory of Xavier's. I couldn't make much connection there. And I quickly moved to Michael's, and I consider Michael's as my school, where I made friends and got incredible learning experience. So about school, unlike you had some of the panelists, I've seen the videos. They're outstanding cricketers, outstanding debating guys or elocutionists. I was none of them, so I couldn't get a chance to play cricket. The only chance I got was in my locality. Another Xavier Michael person, Javed Ahmad, you might be knowing. So Javed, he was my neighbor, and he used to allow me to play and bowl him. So that was the only sporting achievement I had. But I had, I think the schools is made of two parts. Any good institution, of course, the teachers matter most, and Xavier's, Michael's had a good amount of very good teachers, and also the students, your peer group, and seniors and juniors, they help you a lot to build your character and what you will become later in life. They shape your destiny. So I was lucky that I had both of them. A lot of good students, friends who would drive me to do better. And so it's now 44 years since I left school. So the memories keep fading, but there are certain things which stick to you. So I was in the morning today, I was trying to recollect my school, trying to prepare for this webinar. So I remember, Father Cox. I mean, he had a lot of influence in my life, and mostly uh, he inculcated a sense of reading through his casual library, and that's something which I really cherished. And I liked his strategy. This casual library was like once a week you would go to his room and pick up the books, and you can pick up any book. I mean, you don't have to pick up a Charles Dickens or Tolstoy. You can pick up a James Hadley Chase or a Lister McLean or a Harold Robbins also sometimes. So, because I think he understood and fully agree with him that for someone from Patna, if he starts reading English books, he has to start with trash, and then he can graduate to the classics. So, and that's what he did. Never asked any judgment on what you are reading, and that's how I started reading. And almost everyone in my class, we used to start competing with each other, trying to finish as many books as possible. So that was a good one. But I'll tell you another good, funniest incident with Father Cox, which some of my classmates will know. And this happened was there was a play festival, and we were rehearsing for this play. And we had gone to this Bhartiya Nitya Kala Mandir auditorium to practice or rehearse for this play. And then I was coming back around with 4 or 5 of us in the car, being driven by Father Cox, that white ambassador, school ambassador, which was there. And on the Kurzi Road, there was this truck which was not giving him a pass. So he was honking, but the truck wala was totally. So after some time, he got the chance. So he just could put the car just parallel to the truck, and so that, and the windows, there was no air conditioner, so all the windows used to be open all the time. And then he started shouting something at the truck driver, and that was, I don't know whether I should say this, but it was said by Jesuit priest. Uh, he just asked him, shouted at him, "Does your mother know your father is?" Now, the driver did not understand what is this going on. So he happily was driving, but it was a shock for the ninth stand graders like us, 5 of us sitting in the car. That this is what? How can you say this? Or uh, you know, but it had a big impact on us, and it was like for the next 5 6 months, it was an epithet that was used by most of us amongst us, because though it was the wrong thing to say, but since Father Fox said it, so it's okay. So this was one, and second was, we might have heard a lot about Mr. Raj, our maths teacher, and he was amazing. And whatever maths I know is because of him. Uh, so he used to have this very interesting habit of giving a Saturday test. Saturday morning, they used to do a weekly test for all the sections. And it was very tough because we were not very good in maths, many of us, so very tough for us. And then on Monday, he used to correct the papers and give it to us, the marks. So he was very fast. So a few of us, 2 3 of us, we said we will do a Bihari Jugaad and see how it works out. So what we did was, suppose there are 10 questions in the test, so we knew only about 6 questions. So what we used to do was, those 6 questions we used to repeat after gaps. So we never used to answer those 10 questions, and we were careful that we'll just answer 8 questions, so we'll get 80 marks. We will not get a max the paper. So maxing we'll give it to some our brilliant guys. And this worked because he was in such a hurry to correct the papers. Even if I repeat a question which I knew in the same paper, he used to give me marks for that also. So I used to get double marks. So, but then after 2 3 times he got on, and then it was we couldn't do it anymore. So a lot of memories about good memories about schools.
Yeah,
Looked up to
absolutely.
a lot of outstanding seniors, the 5 pointers who were there, and big inspiration. Uh, it was amazing.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, thank you so much, Arun. Thank you so much. Yes, I mean, in fact, Michael's, Xavier's, I mean, like, we had some fantastic classmates, we had fantastic juniors, and we had iconic seniors, to look up to, Right. Thank you so much for for sharing your wonderful memories of St. Michael's. Thank you so much. Now we move on to Syed Saba Karim. So welcome, Saba.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you
let
so
me tell
much.
you one thing. When you were coming to St. Michael's, all right, from St. Xavier's, of course, we'd heard a lot about you. And by then, you were very, very famous, especially all around the Gandhi Maidan, and everybody knew, about you. And there were some people who told me more about your wicket keeping skills, all right. And so when you came over to St. Michael's, I thought, okay, he's from St. Xavier's. All right, now St. Xavier's, a bit of a Hindi medium or a Bihar board school. And, so fine. And then when Sabha came, all right, and then he started talking and communicating, you know, I was nervous. The reason is, I said, okay, I mean, I can see more for my Antonio Bassanio and Michael Henchard. It was more of G.R. Vishwanath and square cuts, all right, or Gabriela Sabatini and so on. I said, now, meri to poll khul jayegi, because you see, you have a person coming, like Sabha, all right? So, Sabha, two things. I knew, number one, how did you really get inspired vis-a-vis the reading habit? I know you have been an avid reader from the very, very beginning, and always a different kind of a youngster who was making strides, in the cricketing circle, but then, always very fond of your space and your time, and especially with books, with your reading. So what really inspired you, that? And secondly, when you took admission in St. Michael's, what actually made you come over to St. Michael's? All right, perhaps the same reason that Mr. Mishra just said. And third is, like, did they tell you that, okay, Sabah, yes, they had, you came along with Amikar Dayal, if I remember correctly.
But Amika was 1 year senior to me.
Oh, 1 year senior to you. So he was already there. Yes. And then, we had Samir, the left-handed fast bowler, Samir Shukla.
Yes.
Okay. And I think all three of you went to the West Indies, all right, and you led the team.
Yeah.
Okay. And so did the principal assure you that, yes, you will be given, your free time for a lot of cricket? So more of cricket and less of attending classes. Okay. So the first thing I used to do, when I used to go to class to see whether Sabha is here or not. If Sabha is not here, it means, yes, he's out, all right, playing cricket. And of course, Mr. Adhikari has a very, very big role to play. I'm sure you're going to recount that as well. So all over to you, Sabha.
Thank you so much, sir. And Nishant, first up, compliments to you for thinking on these lines and bringing all the Michaelites together. Deepest gratitude to all my teachers, especially today on Guru Purnima Day. We are all here because of the kind of teaching we received from all our teachers, including you, sir, Mr. Banerjee. All of you have been instrumental in shaping our career. Going back to your first question about my reading habits, I joined Xavier's in 5th standard, that was 77. So from 77 to 82, I was in Xavier's. But before that, I also, as Justice Samarendra Singh had said, that I was also in St. Joseph's. I think I spent 1 or 2 years there. Then I went to St. Xavier's. That was a small school in Fraser Road. I don't know whether anyone of you could recall that or not. So there we had these English teachers who were instrumental in getting me to read. And I remember there was my father's friend was Dr. Sami, who used to live in Fraser Road. His daughter, Moniba Sami, who happens to be a professor now in the Women's College. So I would tag along with my father to go and visit them at their house in Fraser Road. And she was the one who first introduced me to this wonderful storybook by the name of Richard. Richard was a boy who would be indulging in a lot of pranks and would run around all this English countryside. So that's how I really got involved in this habit of reading. From there, the moment I went to Xavier's, I was so much inclined towards exploring new books to read that I would be a frequent visitor in the library of Xavier's. And from there, I learned the other nuances of fiction and literature and so on and so forth. So I would spend a lot of time in the library of the school also. And so 5 years I was there in Xavier's. Then 82, after my matriculation from Xavier's, I came over to Michael's. And I have some wonderful memories of that school. And I go back to what Arun sir has said right now about Father Cox. He was instrumental in getting us, back into some wonderful books, which was so new to me. I would spend hours in his room, going through the different collection of books which he had. I remember I was introduced to fiction in the casual library of Father Cox, who read Robert Ludlum. He introduced me to so many of these spy thrillers. Plus, then came literature. Also, I think in school, sir, you would recall, I think we had I think it was Shakespeare. We had King Richard in school.
Yeah.
Then we had Mayor of Casterbridge. Then we have Tess of Double-Wells.
Yeah, and you had also Thomas Hardy.
Thomas Hardy, yeah, Thomas Hardy. So Thomas Hardy, Mayor of Casterbridge, and Tess of Double-Wells. So all these books introduced me to literature. That was also the period when I was very keen to read Russian literature. So I had Maxim Gorky and Chekhov and all these books, all these authors. So that is how I was very inspired to read as much as possible. I do remember that during my playing days, even while playing a match, if I had to sit in the dressing room, I had something to read or the other. That really helped me calm my nerves and made me more focused towards my game. So all this was very helpful. So that has been my journey in terms of my interest in books. Still continues. I'm more into literature and history now. But all these books have given me a different dimension of life altogether. Yeah. What was the next question? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. So getting back to St. Michael's, that was '83. I joined St. Michael's, and there's a story behind this also. I don't know whether you remember or not. I think it was when I was 7th or 8th. The Xavier school team went across to St. Michael's to play a cricket match, and Father Harlan at that point of time was the principal. We managed to beat St. Michael's in a very critical encounter. It was a very tight game, and my brother, who was 2 years elder to me, Faiz, he was part of the team. So he was in 9th, and I think I was in 7th. And after the game got over, Father Harlan came up to me and my brother and he said, "Hey guys, if you want to join St. Michael's, we are always open for you. Please come and join St. Michael's. We'll give you as much freedom as you want to play cricket." But we decided against it because in any case, Xavier was such a wonderful institute, and I received a lot of encouragement from my teachers there. Incidentally, Father Cleary was there when I joined St. Xavier's. So he was instrumental in getting everything together, in having a school team, and seeing to it that all the players, all the boys, after school hours, would practice regularly, and we would participate in the school competitions. So that was very heartening, and that is one reason why I stuck with Xavier's. And when I joined Michael's, you rightly said that I hardly attended school because of this cricket season. So during, I think from say October, November till about February, March, I was busy playing cricket. But during summers I would spend some time in the classroom, and that's how I did manage to sail through those 2 years in St. Michael's. Yeah, but some great memories.
Especially, with the little peek you're going into the history, of that particular match between Xavier and Michael's, then obviously, the road was actually all clear for you, all right, to get into St. Michael's, okay? So no credit to me, please, all right? So wonderful. Wonderful talking to all of you. And yes, as you rightly said, Father Cox's Casual Library was a very, 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 very important place, and played a very big role. Because when I went there for the first time, I just didn't know what to do. I was not a reader. And then Father Cox had, obviously, he knew each one of us. So he said, "Yes, I know you are interested in cricket." And the first book that I read was Tiger's Tale by Mansoor Ali Khan Patawdi.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that is how,
this shift from Xavier's to Michael's opened up a different vista for me completely. I was introduced to a wider spectrum to English music. I made some wonderful friends, and we remain friends even now. They were instrumental in helping me, by providing me some notes whenever I was in doubt in terms of my examination preparations. The teachers are so helpful, Amber.
Yeah. Thank you to all the three stalwarts. Thank you so much, for sharing those wonderful memories. And now, of course, the more professional, the more difficult, the more grown-up part will be taken up, by Nishant. So over to you, Nishant.
Thank you, Amber sir. So we could see some fantastic stories from all of you, all of three. So it was wonderful. I'll straight away go to Samarendra Bhaiya first. Just knowing about you, You were appointed as permanent judge in 2006. Also the chairman of state level committee of Bihar by National Green Tribunal, and the president of state consumer dispute redressal committee as well. So some great achievements, sir. We all know that you come from a legacy of family of lawyers and judges. It's a great thing. Very few people have made it big, staying at Patna and continuing professionally as well. So first, let me congratulate you on this. That all your journey you have been Patna and you have done the best. So basically, being a honorable judge is one of the biggest positions we can see in the state. And I would like to understand your journey from lawyer to judge and right from the school days, all of that in Patna. I would like to hear from you, sir.
The journey from being a lawyer to a judge was a very, very difficult one, a very hard one. Since my father had been in this profession, so when I joined law, he told me that, well, it is full of thorns, it's not a bed of roses. So you have to work hard and you have to labor and you have to be sincere, honest, truthful, and disciplined. So that what he told me at the time when I joined the profession. One day when I was going through a casework, I just tried to seek some help from my father. I said that, well, I'm looking at this decision and this is the head notes. So he asked me, have you read the whole case or have you read only the head notes? I said, I have read only the head notes because that was the easy thing that gives the crux of the issues that has been decided. Well, no, this is not done. You have to read the entire things. And then, so this was one piece of advice that he gave it to me. I generally, Nishant, I practiced on the private side. And it's a person who is practicing on the private side is hard pressed in comparison to those who are in some government panels. So they have a backup, and those practicing in the private side, they do not have that financial backup. So it was difficult, and at times if a few cases used to get dismissed in succession, one used to have a scare of the life. One used to get a bit perturbed, I must confess. But then one kept on working. It's not a dismissal or your case being allowed. The judges, they watch how are you performing, how are you behaving, your conduct in your office, outside the court. So everyone, because if you have anything negative, since it's a cluster, I will not use the word cluster. We have so many lawyers that if one does a wrong thing, it would reach to the top. So one had to be very particular that one is taking the right path. So the luck also favored me, and I would say that since I was coming from a family of a lawyer, my father has been a judge and chief justice. So I did have some advantage that people were knowing me. So were knowing me, and but knowing me doesn't make much of a difference. So, but that was some solace, and in 98-99 I became government pleader for a year, for a year, and thereafter, in 2004, I was designated senior advocate by the High Court. That is precious, because one becomes senior advocate if 2/3 of the judges, it's a secret voting, and 2/3 of the judges say that, well, you are fit to be designated a senior advocate. And then I would say that there was luck, and there was God's grace, and there was good wishes of all of you, my teachers, that in 2006, I got a chance, I got an opportunity to to sit on the bench. So that was, and I had about 11 years, and I retired as second man to the Honorable the Chief Justice. I had opportunity of, I was given responsibility of two strong wings of the High Court, that is the Legal Service Authority and the Judicial Academy. So I was a executive chairman of Judicial Academy as well as Legal Service Authority at the same time. And so that gave me some opportunity to do some work in the public domain. For instance, in jails, the lawyers, the lawyers were assigned the work that were legal. You have to give legal aid to the jail inmates. So I used to find that, well, the lawyers who were assigned to give legal aid to the jail inmates were all male lawyers. So I made a noting that, well, there should be a female lawyer also every time, because there are female inmates in the jail also, and they might not feel all that free to talk with the male lawyers. And then I'm happy to say that a mobile clinic was also installed in the jail premises, from where on a certain day the jail inmates can talk to their lawyers, and so they are in prison, they are accused, but then they also have certain rights, and so one made an effort to see that the valuable rights to defend themselves are made available. So it's difficult, it's hard, it's not easy, and even once you become a judge, I found that the task of a lawyer is easier. You study your case, you present your case, your side, and when you start giving judgment, you find that both sides have their points, and none of them are, and neither this side is wrong, neither that side is wrong. So that is the dilemma, which at times takes one to think it over, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, even a week, as to what is to be done, what is not to be done. So there the reason.
Brilliant, sir. So we'll come back to you again on a couple of other questions, Samarendra. Thank you. So we'll go to Arun Mishra. Arun Bhaiya. So Arun Bhaiya, you're on mute, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have got another performer. So Arun Bhaiya is a true performer on this panel. Arun Bhaiya is 1986 IAS officer from West Bengal cadre. He has served on some very immaculate positions, right from the Joint Secretary of Civil Aviations to Director General of Civil Aviations. Currently, he is the Regional Director of International Civil Aviation Organization in Asia Pacific in Bangkok, which is not small. It's a specialized agency of UN, which is great. Bhaiya, we salute you for this. Not only for what you have done, but under your aegis, there have been quite a few developments which has happened on the international aviation side as well. So we would first like to, get you a story which I want to connect those dots. on the first webinar, we had Mr. Sanjay Singh from Tata Sons, and we had a story saying that when they were trying to start a Tata SIA project of Vistara, and they were trying to get in touch with Civil Aviation's ministry. They got to know that there was a gentleman called Arun Mishra who was the DGCA, and when you came to help, we just heard that Vistara as a Tata SIA venture saved 1.5 years of documentation. We would like to hear the story from you because it will complete the dot what Sanjay Singh started.
Yeah, thank you, Nishant. Yeah, it was a very exciting time, in 2012-13, when we had this Kingfisher Airlines closed down, and the Sahara and the Deccans also were going down. So there's a big gap. There's passenger demand, but there are no airlines. So we were very keen to have new airlines, new players coming in. Of course, credible ones. There are small timers who are coming in, but we wanted credible ones. So Vistara and Air Asia came around the same time, and we decided that we have to help them upfront because it's a very complicated process. I'll take a lot of time to explain how an airlines get a license. It's very, very complicated. But we made it simple for them. We told Vistara that, okay, you have 10 people who are involved in all this process, get them with a laptop, and I will get my 10 people counterparts, and we will give you a room in the DGCA office, and you sit there all the time, 12 hours, 14 hours a day, and let's sort it out. And they were very happy, and I was also, it's something which you achieve and something which happens. So, of course, I was not there to see the inauguration of the airlines, but I was there to, sort of facilitate. And so it's a good achievement for my team to have done this. Normally in government, you ask them to follow the government rules, which have taken a long time, but we were very proactive, so that helped.
So that's called Michael's Connect, because you can give them a space to do it. Fantastic, sir. Superb. Very nice. Another thing I would like to understand, because as per the current position, you are handling the COVID restart and COVID recovery thing. So would you like to put some views on this?
Yeah. So that's everyone's talking about that. So we are in the Asia Pacific region. My region is a large region, and we have been working right from March when all the governments, almost all the governments, they first started by closing the airspace. So no foreign airlines could fly into the airspace. So we started from there, and then we started talking to the governments. My role in Bangkok is basically to work with the governments in implementing the civil aviation rules, regulations, and helping them implement that. So we started talking to them so that they facilitate these movement of relief goods, the medicines, the repatriation flights. So there's the cargo flights. So slowly this was opened up by everyone. Then we went to the safety aspect. The pilots, for example, the pilots have their license to be renewed, and they have to get their medical done, which was not possible in a lockdown situation in most of the countries. So we allowed states to relax those norms and respect others. So now we are looking at recovery and restart. So we have got a group here in our region with experts drawn from most of the states, big states, and we are looking at various ways in how we can do the recovery. So for the recovery, everyone says that we should start international flights, but it all depends on building trust between the two countries on the public health measures, and they should be, same kind of situation as far as a community transmission is concerned. So we are trying now to create these travel bubbles, it's called. So working with 2-3 countries to create a travel bubble where the situations are almost same. Say, for example, China, Thailand, Korea, there the rate of transmission is very low. So we can have a travel bubble where they start, and then this bubble can become bigger and bigger to include everyone.
Correct.
So,
Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Superb. Yeah. So I'll come again. So yeah, we have got a couple of more things to hear out from you. So I'll go to I call Saba Karim. Saba here. He has seen the 360 degree of cricket. I don't know why I always see, because we have seen him as a player, we have seen him as a commentator, we have seen him as the selector of the national cricket team, we have seen him as the office bearer of the BCCI, and I have to count on other things as well, including the coach. So welcome, Savya. It's great to have you here. A person who has played 34 ODIs and a test match, with a rich experience of 20 years with Tata Steel, which is not small, which is fantastic. And I would like to start with a story from a fellow Michaelite, Faisal Rizvi in Bangalore. He just narrated me day before yesterday that once Saba Karim came to St. Michael's from St. Xavier's to play a match, and there was X number of scored, which was scored by St. Michael's, and Saba Karim standalone scored the same number of runs from his bat, which is again, for a fantastic cricketer, it's an amazing thing. Congrats, Via. I will quickly come down to your journey first before you tell about yourself. Saba Karim was selected from Bihar to the Indian team traveling to West Indies. Unfortunately, he didn't got any match to play. So, Sababia, first part of the question is about your 360 degree of cricket. You can define that. And second, the disappointment you had while going to West Indies and didn't got a match to play.
Thanks, Nishant. Well, with cricket, it's been a long journey. And I'm blessed with the fact that I was attached to this game at a very early age. And it all happened because of the passion that was shown by my father. I mean, he was the one who actually inspired me to play the game. Never before in my family anybody had ever played the game. Thankfully, my father was very keen that all my three brothers should take up the sport. So that is how it all started. And I'm very fortunate that I went to school like St. David's and St. Michael's that always promoted this wonderful sport. And I had some wonderful teachers. We had some coaches who helped us to grow. Adhikariji, I think, sir talked about Mr. Adhikari M. Prasad. He was a local coach. He had about 4 or 5 of these club teams that would play in the local tournaments for Patna District Cricket Association. And I played for Adhikari 11. That was an A division side at a very early age. So I got a lot of exposure. But Nishan, in those days, playing cricket in Patna was a different thing altogether. But aspiring to play for even the state side, the Ranji Trophy side, was way beyond anyone's dream. But somehow, I don't know for what reason, because my father really pushed me to work hard. I always dreamt of playing for my state and then for my country. And it really reminds me of this wonderful quote by Oscar Wilde. And it says that, be yourself because everything else has already been taken. And that really helped me to grow as a person and to grow as a cricketer. So it all started from very humble beginnings in Patna. We used to go and practice at Rainanagar, Shaka Field Ground. We had some decent practice facilities in my school in Xavier's. Would travel all over Patna to play cricket. And everything kick-started with my inclusion in the under 15 Bihar team. That is how my cricket career started. So once I got into the Bihar state under 15 side, I did very well there. Went on to play for the East Zone under 15 side. Then graduated to the under 19 Bihar side. That helped me to be picked for the India under 19 side that went to the West Indies in 1982-83, if I remember correctly. Came back, and before I had even played first class cricket for Bihar, I was actually picked to play for East Zone in the Dayal Trophy. That was a prestigious one-day tournament conducted by BCCI, and had this wonderful opportunity to play against the likes of Kapil Dev and Mohinder Ramanath and Madan Lal and all these legends of the game. So that helped me realize that if I pursue this game with dedication and passion, it will obviously provide me with a window where I can fulfill my ambition of playing for the country. So that phase of my life was very exciting. Came up with some great challenges, but actually helped me to grow as a person and to understand, my character as a cricketer. That made me realize that if I work very hard, I can also achieve my ambition of playing for the country. So that is how then after playing for East Zone in the Dada Trophy, came back and I played for Bihar. That was 82, 83. I think maybe I was one of the youngest cricketers to have ever represented Bihar for Ranji Trophy. And since then, it's been a long journey. Played for about from 82, 83 till about 94 for Bihar. Then I had to shift to Bengal because of lack of opportunities while playing for Bihar. Went to Bengal, played for about another 10 years for them. And during that phase, I played for my country. In 97, I made my debut for in my one-day cricket, and then eventually managed to play Test cricket for India. That was in 2000.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be my journey in terms of my cricket career. Yes.
So, Savya, again, an XC of that, when you played for Bihar, you were selected for India as well, but you didn't get a chance. So, as a cricketer, it becomes very disappointing when you go to play for the country for a series and you don't get a chance. Perhaps Bihar didn't have the domination as well, but to the administration part of it, as we spoke earlier, also, it makes sense and it makes you, very very dominant when it comes to selection and playing. Same way what MS Dhoni did for Jharkhand, I call it erstwhile Bihar. He was strong when he performed. People followed, and people looked up to Jharkhand, and as a bigger state of small state, giving you good players. So, just if you can just brief on the role of the administration as well.
Well, Nishant, times have really changed now. And, I go back to the fact that I went to West Indies in 89 as a young 21-year-old. Went all the way to the West Indies. I think it was a long tour. We played about 3 or 4 test matches, played about 5 ODIs. I didn't get a chance to play in any of the international games there. But disappointment was not was not part of the curriculum at all, because the fact that one is on the field and playing the game, that was good enough. And I never thought about being disappointed by not getting a chance, because I knew very well that if I continue to do well, the selectors obviously noticed me, and that eventually happened. Having said that, though, I do feel that those days selection was based more on zonal preferences, and that was a time from say 60s to 70s onwards, till about maybe late 90s. We had more of these cricketers coming from the big towns, the so-called metros, like Mumbai and Delhi and Bangalore and maybe Tamil Nadu or Chennai to that extent. Very few of these cricketers came from tier 2 or tier 3 towns. Not that cricket was not being played in these towns, but by the fact that the selectors had more inclinations towards picking players from these metros. And all that changed gradually, I think, in the late 90s and then even now. That is why if you notice the performance of the Indian side, it has gradually progressed, because of the fact that you have players coming in from different areas, from even rural towns or from villages or from small towns, because of the fact that there's more ambition, there's more drive, there's more passion for them to play. And they are, the moment you give them a solid platform, they're able to do very well, because they come without any kind of baggage. And that is why the story of MS Dhoni is such a great example. He, like so many of cricketers who came from Bihar and now Jharkhand, they were doing very well, but they were not getting that kind of opportunity to showcase the talent in front of the selectors. But the moment this really opened up for the selectors to understand there are so many great cricketers coming from the tier 2 and tier 3 towns, and they should be given equal opportunity to play for the nation, that's how things change. And I think it's wonderful that times have changed. No wonder that India has become a superpower in global cricket now. It's all because of the fact that the game has opened up, the mindset of the selectors has opened up, and which has been so beneficial for cricket in India.
Superb. So it's all about when the small town people, they don't have anything to lose. You outgo and perform something, some blasting stuff. Fantastic. Arun, I'll again come to you. As a joint secretary of civil aviations, you were associated very closely with the privatization of the Delhi and the Mumbai airport, along with the modernization of 35 airports, during that time. So please throw some light on that as well, Bhaiya.
Yeah. So I was very lucky. I was, what they say is a turning point of Indian aviation at that time, the
Yeah.
2004-5, when we privatized the two airports, and also two greenfield airport in Hyderabad and Bangalore. So, uh, and so what was stopping Indian aviation was infrastructure. Uh, there was a desire to fly, there was a need to fly, but there was hardly any. Those who have seen the old Palam airport in Delhi, slightly bigger than Patna airport now, but now what is there? So, great team worked there in the ministry as well as DGCA, and we could facilitate this thing. And the byproduct was the Airport Authority of India. They got a lot of money from this privatization. So they were getting regular income out of the revenue sharing from Delhi and Mumbai airport. And that money could then be used to modernize our tier 2 cities, and 35 airports now, many more. So from a traffic of 20 million passengers in the early 2000, we went up to 150 in 2012-13. And now, of course, it's 300 million. And we are the third biggest domestic air transport sector in the world after US and China. So, but a few things, people see the airport and people see the new airlines and the Indigos and Vistaras and all that. One thing they don't realize is there are some other things which happen in the back office of aviation. And the most important being the air navigation services, the ATM, air traffic management, and they were totally modernized. Now India is one of the leading countries with the most modern air navigation services. And that was also done, a lot of the work was done during that time. Of course, in addition, we had those general aviation, the charter aircrafts and all that. A lot of billionaires and millionaires came in, and then we started having those air ambulances. So a lot of helicopters, helicopter tourism, a lot of things happened. And I was very lucky to be a part of that.
Fantastic, Bhaiya. I'm again connecting this dot with Michaelite Connect. In the last session, we had Arvind Singh, who spoke about, as the chairman of Airport Authority, he spoke about Patna is also going to get a modern airport now.
Yeah.
So with your...
Yeah. So, a lot of people from Patna have been in the Ministry of Civil Aviation for a long time. And we have tried very hard. In fact, when I joined, we have tried very hard to, modernize Patna Airport. But I'm sorry to say that the state government was not very keen. I mean, there was a plan that they want to set up a new airport in Nalanda. And that's why a lot of effort which we were making didn't work out. We had made a big deal with the Indian Air Force to swap. We have an airport in Gaya, and they have an airport in Beta. So we said, let's swap the airports. And they agreed to swap it so that we get the Beta airport, and there we can make the big Patna airport. Because whatever you say, Patna airport, whatever is being done is good, but that's a very temporary measure because the runway length is very small. And you are constricted because one side you have a railway line, other side you have the botanical garden. So you cannot acquire land to make this. So you have to shift Patna. And Patna has seen tremendous traffic in the last 10 years. So we have to look at some other alternative. That will be a good alternative. So best of luck to Arvind. Arvind is a good friend from childhood, same class in school. And we also were together in college. So.
Right. At least we are from 3-bedroom flats, what the Patna airport currently looks, we'll have a multi-level parking and multi-level of arrival departure at least. So let's see. Thank you, Bhaiya. So I'll come to Samarendra Bhaiya again. So on the last part of it, we would like to understand, Bhaiya, as a judge, do you think you can take us to some landmark decisions you have made in your tenure?
I would I'd try to give some judgments over the period that I had presided on the bench. So I would cite one judgment. I would give reference to one judgment, which is applicable in day-to-day case and day-to-day case and with which everyone has some sort of awareness. So we generally, when if a person dies, if it is if he is killed or if he is murdered, so the murder can be caused either by gunshot, by piercing knife, by strangulations, or by hitting him with hard blunt substance or many other ways. So what is important is that the prosecution has to prove. Prosecution generally in criminal cases is the state government. So it has to prove as to how the person has died. Because defense would, if one says that, well, he has died on account of gunshot, and the accused says, no, he has not died on account of gunshot, he has not seen it. In fact, he has died on account of knife injury. Now, how this is to be proved? If I had not joined the profession, I would have said, well, his body shows that, well, there is a gunshot injury, so obviously he must have been shot at by gun. So it's not all that easy when you come to the practical aspect of it. So the prosecution has to show as to what is the cause of death. So the difficulty, so this necessitates that that in court everything is to be proved, everything is to be brought on black and white. So how a document is to be proved? So you can depend upon, you can say that post-mortem report says that, well, he has died on account of gunshot. This is the post-mortem report, the report of the doctor. If you just file it that this is the post-mortem report, so that is not enough. There is something more to it. Someone has to prove, someone has to say that this post-mortem report has been prepared by my friend Dr. Ajit Pradhan or Dr. Sanjay Saran. They have prepared this post-mortem report. I know his handwriting. I know his signature. So they have. So Dr. Ajit Pradhan has prepared this post-mortem report. Now, the problem would not be there if Ajit Pradhan himself comes and testify in the court that, well, I have performed this, I have done the post-mortem, this is the post-mortem report, is in my handwriting, my signature. What happens generally? The post-mortem, most of the post-mortems are done at the district level. Those who are murdered in Patna, they are done at the bigger hospitals, but most of them are done in the district hospitals. Now, generally, the civil assistant surgeon, they perform the post-mortem, or any doctor authorized by them. Now, the case takes place, suppose, in the year 71, the year I passed out, the year which was my final year in the school. Now, the doctor, he prepares the postmortem in 71. And suppose if the case is taken up in the year 1982, or say 1980, after 9 years, the trial starts after 9 years or 5 years. Now the things are speeding up. So earlier it used to take some time. So after 6 years, we go about and find, where is Dr. Ajit Pradhan? So he is not here, he has gone to Philippines. Now here the problem starts. when the doctor who has done the postmortem, if he is not there, then how this postmortem report is to be proved? And just see the difference. If the postmortem report is not proved, the person accused, he will not be convicted for murder, but he would be convicted for simple assault. That is 323, for which sentence is 1 year or 6 months, 3 months, or even he can be let out on good behavior, probation of good behavior. So this much is the risk. So the difficulty arises when the doctor is not, the doctor is not available, or suppose if he has, unfortunately, he has passed away or he has gone to USA or other place. So this was the situation one was facing it. So who would prove it? Will his compounder would prove it? Will his colleague would prove it? So with the help, so we thought about it as to provide a clear-cut methodology and settle the issue for time to come. So in accordance with law. So we said that, well, the postmortem report, as per section 32 of the Evidence Act, it can be proved by anyone who recognizes the handwriting and recognizes the signature of its author. He will say that, well, I recognize his signature, I recognize his handwriting, or he has prepared it in front of me. But that is not enough. A compounder stating so, or anyone else stating so will not be enough. It should be stated by someone who is well versed in medical science. So the person who's going to prove it in place of its original author, so he has to have three things. He should be knowing the handwriting, should be knowing the signature, and he should be well versed in medical science. Why well versed in medical science? Because the other side would be cross-examining him on the nature of the injury. He will say that, well, of course, even if it is by gunshot, the prosecution case is that I have shot it from a distance of 2 feet. The report shows that I have shot it from the type of injury is that it has been shot from a distance of 20 feet. So this person has not seen it. He is just guessing. For these reasons, it has to be by a person who is well versed in this. So in in the case of Rajiv Kumar Singh, we had laid down, and in this my colleague also helped me a lot, and the lawyers also, they were very capable and competent lawyers. They in fact told us the way, and we just put it in our words and sentences and judgments. Well, this is the methodology which has to be adopted in order to prove the postmortem report. Otherwise, the case would fail. The case would fail. So that is one instance, and there are some other
Very
cases
nice.
also, but it will take time, so it's over to.
No, super, sir. So let us all welcome Sir Robin Francis as well. Robin Francis, pranam on Guru Purnima as well, sir.
Pranam, pranam.
So we have got Arun
Guess
Mishra
who?
bhaiya. So this is a unique thing what sir has. The yearbook or scan, both sir.
Guess who? Guess who?
का फोटो है
The Mitra.
Thank you, Nishant, giving me opportunity always quite often to meet my bulldozer. They are bulldozer, bulldozer students that gave me a lease of life. I'm 84 years old. I will, I think, survive 10 years more.
You must, sir.
How is everybody's family and all?
We are all fine, sir. We are all fine, sir.
This
So
is
we have got
Samarendra,
That is the most unique thing he has, the yearbook thing with photos.
My good.
Wonderful.
Oh,
ये अमृतसर का है क्या?
हाँ,
वाह,
Samarendra कहाँ गया?
70. Good. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank
I've got all the your bad data. And Saba Karim I saw once with the beard.
I know. School days I had beer.
Yes,
That was a great memory, sir. So
yes.
I will go to the last session wherein I will start with Samarendra. Samarendra, your two lines to the alumni of St. Michael's, please.
uh, my humble suggestion to the students would be that firstly they should have respect for their teachers. They should maintain discipline, and this is the most valuable time of their life, as this will build their foundations. So even if they listen carefully to what the teachers teach in the class, what the teachers tells them in the class attentively, that would beckon very good for them. It's such a wonderful institution, such competent people who are there, and we all have seen that the students progressing from this school have done very well in different arena of life. So this builds you to take a step further in your life in the field of your choice. I feel that whatever I'm today is on account of guidance and groundings that I have received from my teachers in the school, and also a lot of help and guidance from my colleagues who were far, far, far ahead of me in studies.
Thank you, sir. Arun Bhaiya,
Yeah.
your two lines view on the alumni and the incredible Michaelites, please.
Yes. What I would like to say is that all of us have to realize that we are coming from an outstanding, incredible institution. We have everything going for us. And what we should do is we should try and connect with each other and try to help each other as much as possible to build this, incredible Michaelite association. And all of us should do well in life. So no one should feel shy of meeting another fellow Michaelites, whatever batch, whatever age. And I'm sure everyone is forthcoming to do their bit to help each other. So
That's a
that's
that's really a big statement, Bhaiya. Big statement. Thank you.
And lastly, I would also like to say that for my case, suppose, I'm just giving an example. If I have 20 good friends, close friends, 15 of them are still from my school days, though I have left school after 44 years.
That's what Michaelite is. That's
Yeah.
what a Michaelite is actually. Sababhi, I'm coming to you for this last two lines to the alumni and the incredible Michaelites, please.
Whatever my two seniors have said, I fully endorse it. And I think Nishant, you're doing such a wonderful job of getting everybody connected. Wonderful to hear from Arun sir and from Samarendra sir about their achievements and about their school memories. I got some wonderful memories and I cherish them even now. And I mentioned this earlier that all my friends from school, they remain my true friends even now. I have learned, we have evolved, but we remain true to our heart and we remain true to our school. My advice to the youngsters coming through is try to be an alchemist and look to turn metal into gold, and that's the only way you can achieve your dreams. And I think St. Michael's offers that opportunity to soar. I have not heard of any Michaelites, talking about being pigeonholed or being caged or being pushed towards one kind of a career. Our teachers, the faculty and the school has that kind of a conducive environment where it allows whatever you want to desire to pursue your dream. And I think that's a wonderful concept. And I'm sure that even now the school is following the similar kind of tradition. So my best wishes to all the youngsters who are coming through. I'm sure we'll still have some great teachers. And there's such a rich institution that all of us, all those who will pass through from this school will cherish it and will always achieve whatever they want in their life. Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Superb. Amber sir and Robin sir, it was extremely great to have you on a Guru Purnima's eve to this particular incredible Michaelites. And, special thanks to Robin Francis sir. He always comes in and he connects to so many Michaelites. It's unbelievable. Right from 70s to our times of 93s, we still know. And every episode I tell him that, your reminiscences has always been with Kader Khan. So always there, sir. And so, thank you, Robin Francis sir. Thank you, Samarendra Bhaiya. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you
elaborate.
very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunities.
You're doing a great work. Yourself,
Yes,
and whoever is
Meeting after
organizing
so
it,
many
they're doing
years.
great work.
Yeah.
After I left the school, first time I see you. True. After I left the school, first time I see you.
Now you cannot miss him.
Yes, I saw you quite often when Puri.
And Nishant,
Used to come.
Yes.
you had your guru and your guru had his guru.
I surrender quite often.
Because Mr.
Right,
Ravi
right.
was our teacher also. I mean, that's a fantastic feeling, no?
So it never happens actually. Whom would you find for a 30, 40 years, 50 years teaching experiences and then coming back to us that we taught you and showing that yearbook of 50 years old, this is the yearbook we taught. This is incredible, I'm telling you. This is actually incredible.
जिन्हें हम भूलना चाहें, वो अक्सर याद आते हैं.
सही बात है सर. Thank you. Arun Bhaiya, thank you for your time and thank you for your experiences which was shared here. We are privileged to have you with us. Thank you, Bhaiya.
It was an honor to be in the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Saba Bhaiya, again, thanks a lot to you. And Amber sir, thanks for being the co-moderator with us because you steal the show with the school stories, which are the memories, nostalgia. Thank you. Thanks everyone. Thank you. So next webinar, this is webinar 7. We are going to have Mr. Javed Ahmed, the DG UP. We'll have Mr. Sanjay Pradhan, who is the CEO, Open Government and the World Bank, 1976 batch, and Sailesh Pathak, CEO, L&T Infra. So stay tuned, stay connected. More of incredible Michaelites soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.